Welcome to NeverTheLess podcast with Bidemi Mark-Mordi, a show dedicated to organic leaders and leaderpreneurs. Today, you would learn how to discover your essence and live more powerfully.
Hello everyone, trust you're doing well. You're welcome to the month of perfection. This is the 7th month in the year 2023. This is the month of July. And today is another beautiful episode on the NeverTheLess show. My name is Dr. Shogo, and today we're going to be exploring a very beautiful subject matter that our in-house teacher for this particular program is ready to dissect. I'm talking about no other person than Bidemi Mark-Mordi. You're welcome on the show. It's good to have you, man.
Hey, Dr. Sugar, it's good to have you here again. Good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are listening to the NeverTheLess show today. This is a show for organic leaders and leaderpreneurs. And we're going to be doing justice to a topic that is close to our hearts, and I'm sure that each one of us can identify with. So, Dr. Sugar, what are we talking about today?
So today, I want us to explore the subject matter of pride.
Hi.
So let's look at pride. We'll look at the dynamics of pride. But for today, I think one of the 5 W's of life is the question of what.
Yes.
So I will want you to please explain to us, dissect to us what pride is.
Yes, pride. Who hasn't heard that before? Are you sure you've never accused someone of being proud? And, sometimes people accuse us of being proud as well. So what is pride? Pride, according to dictionary, is a feeling of pleasure and satisfaction that we get because we or others have done something great and good and we're succeeding. When a person has done something that is worth rejoicing or worth celebrating, there is a feeling that comes with it. And the dictionary says that feeling is known as pride. The thing is that dictionary also describes pride as a high or inordinate opinion of one's own dignity, importance, merit, or superiority.
Okay, so when you overestimate yourself.
So you see, that's the thing about Turenchi. Sometimes it can be a lot, pride is. So when you look at it, it looks like pride has 2 sides.
Different dimensions.
Yes, there are different dimensions to it, but predominantly there are 2 sides to it. There's pride that is pride because, things are happening well, we're all working together and everyone is rejoicing because of the success that we're achieving.
That one is like an healthy pride, right?
Okay, we can call it healthy or good pride. Yes.
Okay.
And then there is a pride that is inordinate. That is this thing to excessively think about yourself. Think that, I am this, all this and that. After fresh air, I'm the best thing. And then, of course, after gege bread, there's nothing like
okay, that's the kind of pride they say you are full of yourself.
And
you
won't bust now. You won't bust now.
You just eat like this.
You carry sugar, Unfortunately, that pride is that's where Booga came from. It's something that we celebrate. We celebrate it because sometimes, the line could be so thin and that we don't realize that we have crossed from what we call good pride to bad pride. And so that's why this topic is worth looking at. We want to, as we go through this next 4 weeks, want to look at the manifestations of pride, the faces of pride, the antidote of pride. What does the Bible even say about pride?
No, I'm so excited about
it's going to be really beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can we look at this? There's a question that I've been pondering on. So when we look at pride, I would want you to also explain to our viewers, is pride always bad?
No, even from the definitions, we can tell already that pride is not always a bad thing. Because if, for instance, I have 3 children and I'm proud of each of my children, and it's not because any one of them has discovered the cure for HIV yet or something, but I am proud of them because of the way they conduct themselves. I keep saying to people, and this is not being boastful, it's just the reality in our house. Imagine being a parent to 3 teenagers at some point and we don't have teenage episodes. When I think about how well-behaved my children tend to be most of the time, and please note that the operative word is most of the time. I take pride in that as a parent. It means that, oh, they're good people. It means that perhaps as one of the parents, we've done something well. We've modeled something well for them. And so they are following our example. So that's not necessarily bad pride. When someone goes to school, or maybe someone is a researcher and discovers something that has never been discovered before, he should take pride in the quality of his work and in what he has achieved. That's not bad pride. Do you understand
No,
it?
I'm getting it clearly.
So there's pride and there is pride. Pride is not necessarily always a bad thing. As a matter of fact, every one of us ought to have a level of pride in the works of our hands. We have to have a level of pride in who we are, whether in God or otherwise. We have to be people who are confident enough in how we look or who we are. Because here's the thing, when we think about pride, in all its colorations, you'll be hearing words like self-confident, to be self-assertive and stuff like that. You find that there are things that people are not able to do
And
and
those are the
achieve in
eldest
life.
side of-
Yes. And achieve in life because they have no sense of pride at all. So you also don't want to be around someone who they do something and you say, oh, that's really nice. And they're like, oh, really? I did not know. No, that's not life. When I speak to ladies especially, I go on and on. I say, when somebody compliments you and say, oh, Dr. Shogo, you look spiffy today, say thank you. Don't tell me how much you bought it. Yes, because people will come and say, you mean this my black
Oh my
blouse?
God.
You're looking at this my black blouse and you say it's nice. I only bought it at Okrika, 20 naira. That's not the point. The point is that you've put it on and it's becoming on you.
So I think the kind of pride we're talking about right now, I think inside that kind of pride also lies a good self-esteem.
Yes, a healthy sense of esteem. To think about yourself and say, look, when I think about myself, here's where I always begin from. I'm created in the image and likeness of God. Nobody else is like me. And that should make me feel like I am worthy of something. I'm valuable. Because if we say, oh, we should throw everything pride out of the window, what we'll find is that people would not be able to find a satisfaction and fulfillment in the sense of their identity. And if someone is not able to find satisfaction and fulfillment in their sense of identity, then it means that they will act contrary to who they are.
Absolutely.
Do you see that? So it's not a bad thing to have some level of pride, whether in who you are, the works of your hands, your experiences. Sometimes you should even be proud of how you have overcome. Life threw you lemons, you make lemonade and, added some fish to eat. So it's okay. If you have achieved something, by all means, let us be able to compliment you.
Okay.
And say thank you when we compliment you.
Okay,
so that's a healthy pride.
Okay, so ability to be complimented and you have the capacity to receive the compliment. It has to be balanced.
Yes.
Because I noticed that there are people you compliment, they feel you are deceiving them, they feel
that's exactly what we're saying, because they don't have a healthy sense of identity. Their self is eroded. And we're saying that pride is about, for instance, when you think about healthy pride, when you got up from your house this morning and say, I'm going to the studio to make this recording, you dress for yourself. That's a healthy sense of pride.
Yeah.
I put my clothes on not because I'm trying to. I'm not trying to.
It's not for anybody. It's for yourself.
I just want to be confident and be comfortable at the same time. Do you see it? So in that case, it means that you have to take the time to pick out your outfit properly, because you want to be able to walk past people, and if they whispered, if they whispered, you're not feeling like it has to do with me. So that's healthy pride. But in the same time, we'll find that people can get into that place where they dress up, and the only reason why they are dressing up the way they are dressing is that today, Dr. Shogo, we see, is pepper them. I want to show him that I arrived. He doesn't even know where I went to buy this thing. Those people would even, if it were possible, leave the price tag of their outfit out.
To dangle.
because they want people to see it and say,
Their validation is
yes,
outside.
it's outside. Yes. So healthy pride is an
It's
assurance of
That's
who
to do
you
with
are
you
from
and
the
who you
inside.
are
Exactly.
and everything you
Why
carry.
she real lost school. You go school.
Oh my God. Okay, so, but you know, I also realize it's a thin line
Yes.
between this healthy pride
Yes.
or good pride.
Yes.
And before you cross, so can you just please explain how people cross? And a lot of times it's unconscious.
Yes, true.
Yeah. So if you can,
Because you said that thing, it's important. Let me just try and tie it together that while there's good pride and there's bad pride, the trick is to know the difference, to know when we're crossing. Because I mean, if I dressed up today to feel just for myself and I'm comfortable in what I'm wearing, at what point do I begin to make it about other people? And what is the thing that leads me to the place where I begin to make it about other people? So when we come back, I think that's the conversation. But if you'd like to do a recap for us for this one, what would you say?
okay, so we've looked at pride. We've defined pride as overestimating yourself, having an inflated sense of worth
Yes.
with who you are and what you do.
Yes.
We've also looked at it from the perspective of having a sense of satisfaction from achieving a goal or arriving at a landmark in your life, which is a good one.
Yes.
And now we're about to look at when we cross over from the good
To the bad.
to the bad. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the NeverTheLess show. So we'll be back. Don't go away.
In a world filled with many fears and discouragement, life often becomes a burden. For those who know the way, life is just simple. Do not worry, you're not alone on this life's journey, as Bidemi Mark-Mordi shares powerful insights and principles from her everyday work and life experiences in her book, NeverTheLess. NeverTheLess is a book designed to encourage and equip you to face life with courage, hope, and determination. Get a copy of NeverTheLess and other books written by Bidemi Mark-Mordi, like The Wisdom of the Seed, Honor, The Theology of Work, and so much more from a bookstore nearby, or call 080-905-63555 or send an email to bidemi@bidemimarkmordi.com to place your order. I guarantee you will make it. NeverTheLess.
Welcome back to NeverTheLess show. We're exploring the subject of pride, and we've defined what is pride, how to know the definition of good versus bad pride. So right now we're looking at, or I want to ask, how do we differentiate? How do we draw the line between good and bad pride?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Shugu. Again, welcome back. It's the NeverTheLess show. Of course, you know that. A show for organic leaders and leaderpreneur. Now, before we went on the break, Dr. Shugu's question, which is re-echoed or repeated, was how do you know what good pride looks like and what bad pride looks like? And so I want to say again, because I said this before, but maybe not in these exact words, that pride can be poisonous and it can be nurturing at the same time.
Wow.
It is the reason
Wow,
why
don't take it slowly. Take it, I know that. Pride can be poisonous.
Yes.
Or nurturing. Wow,
Yes.
that's very profound.
Yes. What that means is that when a person has the right sense of pride, it can build him and build others around him. But when someone has the wrong kind of pride, and not only are they shooting themselves in the foot, they can actually, literally poison other people around them because of pride. Because when you think about when someone is excelling or someone is power drunk and wants to be the one that is at the top every time, he will do about anything to bring down the rest of us. And that is pride that kills. That's pride that is poisonous.
You want to only be the center of attraction.
Yes, at every point in time.
It's about you.
Yes, there's pride that manifests like that, and that's poisonous. It's poisonous both ways. It's poisonous for the person who's postured like that, and it's poisonous for the people who are at the receiving end. But when pride is done right, it can nurture even the faintest and the weakest of us to greatness. That's the reason why this question you ask is important. We must know the difference between good pride and bad pride. So if you ask me, what's the first thing that happens when pride is good or healthy? It is that it is self-confidence. You find that this person who has good pride is motivated to do. This person knows that they whoever they are, whatever they do, is received inspiration. But they take this inspiration and they are determined and committed to use it for the good of both themselves and those around them. Do you see it? So healthy pride always leaves a man confident enough to face what's in front of him, whether good, bad, or ugly. The man who has a healthy sense of pride is not afraid to do life. He knows that somehow life is configured to favor
him.
Yes.
I think I can relate with that. There's a quote I remembered, Henry Ford, when he became one of the richest
men in
America. A journalist once asked him that, Oga, if you lose everything, what will happen to you now that you are up there? And the man responded that if I lose everything, in fact, put me in a desert, give me 5 years, I will recreate this.
Yes.
That's healthy.
Yes, and it's interesting you use that Ford quotation, because that's exactly what God told me when He came to His word. He said to me many years ago, He said, if you take Genesis chapter 1, it's the template for all of life. By Genesis chapter 1, you can arrive at any kind of success you want. And if you don't have anything else, if you just have the word of God in Genesis 1, you can always replicate the success that you have had. So yes, when a person has a good sense of pride or healthy sense of pride, they are self-motivated. Even when they fall flat on their faces because of life experiences, they don't need someone to pull them up. They don't need others to cajole them. They just get up and they continue to go, because that man recognizes something that most people don't recognize. Everything that made him who he was is domiciled on the inside of him. God has put it on the inside of him, and so he doesn't need to change anything. If he goes through the process again, he will arrive exactly at the success that he had before.
Out of the belly.
Yes, will flow rivers of living waters.
So as much as I have my belly with me.
Yes. You can always replicate success.
It's an inside job.
Yes. That's the man who has a healthy sense of pride and a wholesome sense of identity. Now, when someone, on the other hand, doesn't have a healthy sense or good sense of pride, everything that he achieves is to prove his worth. Is to prove his worth.
You're trying to prove
yes, at all times. Exactly. That's what it is. So if you bought a car and someone says, oh, you bought a car, say, hey, thank you very much. If you know how much I buy the car, this car, should I tell you what he does? It can fly, it can somersault. Everything is to prove that I am worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy. The sad part of that kind of person is that to everyone who's discerning that they are talking to, those people know that he does not have a healthy sense of worth. So the moment you come across someone, doesn't matter how successful they are, if you come across them and you begin to have conversations with them, and they always have to turn the lights on them because they're trying to prove how worthy they are, how powerful they are, you can already tell that this one needs an infusion of a healthy dose of pride. Right. Because he's not proud in what he's achieved. He's achieving everything. And the funny thing is that these kinds of people can go and achieve a million things.
It's an endless pursuit.
Yes. But
you're doing it for people.
Yes, you just want to be told that you are doing well. Now, the thing about same kinds of people is that when they fail, they can't get back up. Because for them, unlike the other man who, like Henry Ford, when you said that he said, if you lose it all, what will you do? When these kinds of people fail, who have an unhealthy sense of pride, they can't get up. Because rather than see that something didn't work out, the vibe they get or their interpretation of failure is that they were not good enough. And that's why, especially for parents who are raising children, we want to be careful that when we begin to talk to our children about success and pride and how they should do, we want to make sure that we frame it properly, so that we don't frame it for them in a way that it becomes about other people and a lack of self-worth or a proving that they are worthy rather than just knowing that they are worthy. So that's the first way to determine the difference between healthy pride and unhealthy pride. Or good pride, yes. The second one is that every good pride is assertive, and yet it doesn't put others down, and it makes room for others to grow. Let me say, I said like 3 things in one. I said that healthy pride is assertive. What that means is that the man who has a healthy sense of pride wants to achieve something. So he's assertive. He shows up. He rolls up his sleeves. They say it can't be done. He said, no, let me take a look at it. I believe it can be done. But while he's assertive, he's not putting everybody else down. So if someone else says, oh, I have an idea, he doesn't say, shut up, I know what I'm doing. He's accommodating. He does not put others down, and he makes room for all others who want to grow with him. Of course, the opposite is just what you said. A person who has an unhealthy or bad pride is aggressive and is driven by a feeling of personal superiority. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you.
It's always about
all their conversation is, did you see that podcast? Oh, my podcast is better. And did you see that car? Oh, my car is better. Did you see those children? Oh, my children are better. Oh, did you see that tall man? Oh, I'm taller. Everything about them is
they measure others against themselves.
Yes.
It's them against the world.
Yes, and that just brings us to the third point. People who have a healthy sense of pride do not compete. They do not compete. They do not compete. And if they must compete, they compete with themselves. They want to get better, than what they did the previous season. That's what it is. But a man who has an unhealthy sense of pride, what does he do? Everything is a comparison. Everything is a competition. Always wants to win. It looks like he lives to win. That's the kind of man you see. He's driving on the road and he just looks to his side. Maybe he's driving a Prado and he looks to his side and he sees someone driving a Land Cruiser. Automatically, it's like they flagged up Formula One for him. He wants to prove to the other man that he doesn't even know, may never see again, who he just caught a glimpse of from the side of his eyes, that his car is better. So all these kinds of people, my house is better than your house, is their conversation. When they travel, they fly, everybody must know that they flew business class. When they go out and they take a client meeting, they must describe the person they went for a client meeting. They begin like, I went to this, a 500 figure earning client. All of that because it is important for them that we think that they look good. Now, I've lived long enough to know that every time that people posture like that, they are struggling. Every time that they posture like that, they are struggling. Because it becomes about the window dressing. It becomes about the photoshopping. Everything must prove that they are doing really well. And the truth is, when you are doing well,
you don't make noise about it.
You don't need to say it.
The result speaks.
Do you see it? So that's the way it is. Competition becomes who they are. They are only satisfied when they can stand and say, I did better than that person. Oh, both of you are wearing really nice white shirts. They look alike. Oh no, mine is Giorgio Cataputa. Why is that so? Why is it necessary for me to know what label is on the inside of the collar of your shirt?
They are always comparing.
Always, always, always. They have an unhealthy sense of pride. It makes them, they only feel good when they know that they are superior, or they feel that they are superior to someone else.
We should go on a break quickly, then we round up on this particular episode.
Yes.
All right, we'll be back shortly.
In a world filled with many fears and discouragement, life often becomes a burden. For those who know the way, life is just simple. Do not worry, you're not alone on this life's journey, as Bidemi Mark-Mordi shares powerful insights and principles from her everyday work and life experiences in her book, NeverTheLess. NeverTheLess is a book designed to encourage and equip you to face life with courage, hope, and determination. Get a copy of NeverTheLess and other books written by Bidemi Mark-Mordi, like The Wisdom of the Seed, Honor, The Theology of Work, and so much more from a bookstore nearby, or call 080-905-63555, or send an email to bidemi@bidemimarkmordi.com to place your order. I guarantee you will make it, nevertheless.
Okay, you're welcome back to the NeverTheLess show, which is a show designed for leaders and leaderpreneurs, organic leaders and leaderpreneurs. So before we went on the short break, we were looking at
the difference
between a healthy pride and unhealthy or
pride.
good pride versus bad pride.
Yes.
The first one we talked about when you have a good sense of pride, you are assertive.
Yes.
You want to try things out on your own.
Yes.
And you don't mind others putting their input.
Yes.
However, when it comes to the other side of that particular coin,
yes,
you always want your will to be done, will to be done.
Yes.
You don't accommodate
You automatically
others.
become God, yes.
You become God. Mm-hmm. And then from there, we looked at confidence.
Yes.
When you are expressing good pride, you are confident.
Yes.
Not the confidence that comes from oppressing and impressing others, but this confidence comes from within. Knowing that you have the capacity to face life, whatever it brings your way.
Yes.
Knowing that you have the capacity to duplicate your successes on your own.
Yes.
Right? But the bad side of that particular coin is
everything they achieve is to prove self-worth.
Everything they achieve is to prove self-worth.
Yes.
Then the third one that we looked at is competition. Bad pride competes. Everything is a competition, is in comparison with others. I'm better than you, my house is better than you, I'm taller than you, I'm richer than you, my shirt is finer than you.
My rumor is more than yours.
It's just my. Yes. And that is not what life is built about. But in good pride, they compete with themselves. They want to beat their record. They want to become a better version of themselves. And truthfully, if you look at that, if you want to become a better version of yourself, you want to beat your previous record, you will definitely listen to others.
Yes.
You will accommodate their opinion.
Yes.
So those are the 3 points we've looked at so far. We still have BMM in the house. So can you please don't call me Oliver Twist. Can we have like 2 more?
Yes.
Or 7?
I don't know. Maybe 2.
Okay, because of time. So
yes,
2.
because of time, maybe 2. Welcome back. So we're looking at the difference. We're trying to draw a line between healthy and unhealthy pride, good and bad pride. And like Dr. Shogo is brought up to speed, we have seen some of the points already. The fourth one for me is that healthy pride is authentic. It is authentic. It's an accurate and realistic estimate of one's ability. So it's not over bloated. I'm not trying to say I'm something that I'm or not. When my sense of pride is healthy, what happens is that I am authentic.
You are operating in awareness.
Yes, in awareness and authenticity. What that means is if I can't do it Pride, because I know it doesn't impact upon my identity or who I am.
It doesn't reduce
No,
you
it does
in
not.
any way.
Exactly.
You
I would
accept
say,
it and
I would
say,
say I
let
can't do
someone-
it. Let someone else who's better equipped do it. So you find that is an authentic. Every one of us needs someone who is authentically proud in their circle, because then you'll find that they are not intimidated by other people's successes, because they know that there is success.
They are shining in their own space,
in their own
in
space.
their area, and it doesn't dim your light in any way.
Exactly. Of course, the converse is the reality of the one who has bad pride. The man who has bad pride is dishonest.
What he can't do, he will say he can do.
I don't even think that this kind of person knows that he's dishonest, because
They want to prove.
it's just who they are. You find that, everything they have to embellish. So because of that, they are dishonest. When they say something to you, it's inaccurate. And the thing is, those things in which they present inaccuracies, they have no need to do that. If they just present authenticity, nobody
It will still
would.
be embraced.
Yes, it will be embraced. It will be liked. It will be celebrated. But because of just this need, I actually think that people who have an unhealthy sense of pride are broken. I believe that nobody comes from the shop like that. Something breaks in them that make them that way. And so I would advocate healing for them in their souls. But the point is that he's not authentic. He's not honest. If he would make 3 million. I mean, in these days and times where everybody is experiencing a crunch, if somebody out of one deal makes 3 million, they've done well.
That's still a good deal.
It's a good deal. Say, I made 3 million. That's good. But instead of say I made 3 million, you say I made 9 million. Because something just says to them, make them blow it out of proportion, so that everybody will think that you are untouchable. So a lack of authenticity becomes their hallmark. And then finally, you ask for 2, so I'm giving you 2.
Yes, please.
The person who has a healthy sense of pride is inclusive. He's inspiring. He thrives when others thrive. He gives people the opportunity to express themselves and to grow. He challenges people in their areas of their giftings and their strengths, so that they can become who that they should be. And these people can be on his team, and he doesn't feel a need to not have them around him,
or
be intimidated
them
anymore, or press them or stifle their voice. He actually gives them the stage and the opportunity for them to expand and to grow. And he's very quick to ascribe to them credit. You see it.
Yeah.
He doesn't take the credit and sit on it. Yes. Every leader should have. Yes. To give credit where it is due. Oh, you've been doing so well in this. Oh, well done. Oh, you ran that ship so greatly. This is your reward. So they reward greatness. They reward initiative. They reward innovation, simply because they are not intimidated by what the other person has. Of course, the other person who has an unhealthy or bad sense of pride is authoritarian. Is me or no one else. They want to lord it over people. They will not share success stories with anybody. Nobody else contributed to their success. They were in the car, somebody was driving them, they were working on their phone, somebody was sharing slides with them, yet all of the success is their own, because they were able to be working on their laptop and driving at the same time and creating their slides at the same time. No room for, that person contributed, well done. And so when we find ourselves around those kinds of people, the tendency is that people feel small. And when people feel small, they don't want to contribute.
Yes.
They usually just want to withdraw themselves. And then in the end, this very proud person suffers, because everyone that was attracted to their shine and their sheen, when they find out who they truly are, wants to step away from them. And the lack of truth is horrible, because even in that place, when they find someone that is doing something that may do them in, they will not tell the person that this would harm you, because it's better that the person fails than for them to excel on their watch. Again, this is a trait of small people. Very small people. If you ask me, this is how somebody like Adolf Hitler was configured. It is the only reason why he looked at another race and another group of people and determined that they were not fit to live. What makes one man superior to the other? We're all created in the image and likeness of God. We all have 24 hours in a day to live and to express ourselves. We all speak through our mouths. We all breathe through our nostrils. What makes one man better than the other man? And so until we understand that everyone of us is the same and that we can be proud. I'm excited at the dexterity of my husband's driver on the wheels. So when he drives, I actually can relax. Do you understand it? I don't want to be as dexterous in driving as he is. You know why? Because I have him.
It complements what you don't have.
Exactly.
And by the way, you don't need that skill in your core area. It's not your core area of calling.
Please, so. So this is the conversation. I know we've not been exhaustive in looking at it, but when you take it, when you listen and you see, you can draw these inferences, and even in our lives and in the lives of those around us. My hope is that we will be able to make the adjustments that we need to make so that we can move forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of today's episode. In case you are just joining us, we explored the subject of pride today. We looked at the definition of pride, what is pride, and we talked about pride being both nurturing and poisonous. Those are the two ways we looked at pride on today's episode, and we defined pride as having a healthy sense of satisfaction when you hit a goal, when you achieve a goal. We looked at it from the perspective of pride can be nurturing and it can be poisonous. Then we mentioned that there are good pride and there's bad pride. Good pride comes from a sense of healthy self-esteem. It comes from a sense of I have the capacity to reproduce, excel, irrespective of whatever life brings to me. Then the bad side of pride is you just want to be the only person taking the shine. You don't mind whose toes are stepped upon, right? Just don't let me bore you. Like if you're just joining us, you can replay the episode. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow BMM on all social media platforms.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week when we'll be looking at pride from another angle. God bless you. Remember that this is a NeverTheLess show, a show for organic leaders and leaderpreneurs. When you discover your purpose, you would live a powerful life. So from me to you, embrace your superpower. God bless you.
Thank you for listening to NeverTheLess. For more information and resources, call 080-90563-555 or send an email to bidemi@bidemimark.com. Don't forget, discovering your purpose helps you live more powerfully.